Ocracoke Island in North Carolina. I have been here since Monday afternoon with 5 other artists. We're all painting all over town. And you see by my title there, I've called this Starting a Painting with a Weak Subject. So usually that's a bad idea. I'll just admit right up front. There's not an awful lot about this scene that, commends it, but I'm tired of looking, and frankly, every time I look at a scene like this, I ask myself, what would Colin? I forgot his last name. Colin from Australia. Good painter from Australia. What would Colin? Okay, what would Colin do? Instead of what would Jesus do, what would Colin do? I look at it and say, what would Edgar Payne do? Edgar Payne wouldn't touch this scene with a 10-foot pole. Richard Schmid wouldn't touch this scene. A whole bunch of good... Kevin McPherson might not touch this scene. But Colin, I wish I had his name, he comes to mind as one of those master artists that can take a really dog of a subject matter like this and turn it into a gorgeous thing. So as you see, I've already started. I started painting with a rag. I did a pink sky. My buddy Mike here, who's painting with me, I come and paint with him partly because he's going to influence me. So I'm allowing myself to be influenced by him, and he's doing this pink underpainting in this. He paints Cape Cod School, more or less Cape Cod School, if you know what that means. So that's why he does pink under the sky. And I used to do a lot more of that. And anyway, I like what he's doing. Now I'm doing something really funky, which is very unusual for me. Drawing with opaque color. Drawing with an opaque, that is, I've mixed white in with this phthalo blue and permanent green light to get an aqua color, because that's the actual local color on this building. I don't think I've ever done this exact thing in my life. That is, draw with a pale light color. Now, part of what is making it possible is that I'm drawing on top of a pinkish, purplish background. Anyway, enough of that blathering. Let's just paint. Let's just see if I can turn this into a good subject matter. So I want it to feel like well, the way it feels when you're coming into Ocracoke, this is one of the first scenes that you come across as you arrive from the north, and or the east, either one. And it feels like vacation. The scene just feels like vacation. There's palm trees there. So for those of us who don't have a lot of palm trees, North Carolina, right, by the way, is, I think, right on the boundary for palm tree growth. Some people in Raleigh try to grow palm trees and usually have a hard time keeping them alive. But people down here in the coast, there's a little more palm trees down here. Speaking of palm trees, here's a palm tree. Here's another one. Anyway, I don't think any palm trees go in Virginia. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I can't remember any palm trees growing in Virginia. And of course, South Carolina has their license plate has a palm tree on it, so they're very proud of their palm trees. Again, I'm working, as you can see, for me, if you know my painting. Okay, let me tell you some of the things that are going to make this work or not work. One is, of course, play of light. It's always about play of light. So no matter what the subject is, it's about play of light. And I've got to get some real dramatic. They were more dramatic. Let me show you the scene again that I'm painting, more or less. Pretty boring. I'm going to put cars and pedestrians and cyclists in the scene, because that's the vibe of Ocracoke, especially bikes and pedestrians. But before I go any further, I'm going to go revert to my more typical stuff. Let's do some shadows in here. Picking up some ultramarine and some purple. And let's get some... Now, which way are they going to go? Uphill or downhill? They can't go both. I guess they're going to go uphill. And there's some distant trees. Now I tell you, I'm really holding this painting loosely. I'm really giving myself sort of permission, and maybe this is a real mistake, to just say to paint over it this afternoon. You know, I'm going to get so far and then go, to heck with it. That was a lousy idea. Because I really feel like I'm trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, as they say. Who says that? I don't know. Somebody used to say that. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Good news for the sows. Hello. Got some red roofs going on up here. Definitely want some of those red roofs in. And of course the cedar shingle building over here is really important. All right, let's start this again. For some reason we got disconnected. That happens a lot, I'm discovering. I've got a real chaotic mess on my canvas. Let's see if I can get any order happening out of this mess. Again, I'm trying to think of, okay, what is it about this scene that could even possibly make it a good scene? And I'm not sure. It's a really, really, really bad position to be in. I mean, if I'm not sure it can be a good scene, we're sunk. It's just not going to happen. So I better figure something out really quick, or I'll be scrapping this canvas. Post haste, shall we say? We shall say post haste, because post hasting is one of the favorite things we like to say. Okay, there's some palm trees. What's his name do? Right? Who was I talking about a little while ago? What would he do with this scene? There's a palm tree if I've ever seen one. And I really like this little, there's a yellow Jeep here for rent. Rent me Jeep. For riding on the dunes or something. And it's yellow, that's the perfect color. I really like it. And then over here there's some kayaks piled up. Not piled up, you know, stacked up on a trailer. And kayaks are all these brilliant plastic colors. That's a good thing. Then there's a street sign here which points down 4 different streets. That's kind of cute. And then there's another building over here, of course. And there's a fence here. That's a fence. And the road goes around the curve. So in here we're going to put a person on a bike right here. Yeah, that's a person on a bike. We're going to put a car here coming toward us, and a car back there going away from us, and people walking. This is one of those, speed limit 20 type neighborhoods where the bikes, cyclists, and pedestrians get priority over cars, especially during the tourist season. Okay, while that's halfway drying, let's slap some white down here and see if I can get anything going. Again, this is me trying to make a good painting out of a bad subject matter, weak subject matter. And I think to myself, a good artist could do this. A good artist could make this scene sing. So we'll find out today if I'm a good artist. We're taking bets. I don't know. Some of you might have more confidence in me than I do. I'm feeling a little bit tired. I shouldn't be tired. I got a good night's sleep. I'm uninspired. I think that's the word. I'm feeling really uninspired. But I was even less inspired to keep on driving around and looking for something to make me inspired. Does that make sense? So as much as I didn't want to paint this particular scene, I even more didn't want to keep driving around looking for a particular scene. So I quit here and say, come on, let's just see what I can do here. See what you're made of. Arr. Painting like a pirate today. Since Ocracoke is big pirate country. Largely because, actually the whole North Carolina coast is, if you don't know North Carolina, it's all big pirate country, because this is where Blackbeard and all of those golden age of piracy, Stede Bonnet and those guys, they all hid out in the little estuaries and inlets and all kinds of places. So it was a great place for them to hide. And Blackbeard I had completely forgotten this till I was reading earlier this week. This is where Blackbeard was killed, actually, right half a mile from where I'm standing, out in the water, off the island of Ocracoke. Again, Ocracoke, a tiny little island. It's not a, if there's not a road all the way around it, because there's marshes and all kinds of stuff. But if there was a road around it, you could ride around Ocracoke on a bike in 40 minutes, I imagine. So that's how small the island is. So charming is the what they're looking for here. Let me fix that. Oh boy, here comes people to talk to me. Hello. Well, thank you.
I wish I had that talent.
I'm hoping I have it today. The lady said, I wish I had that talent. So that's why I said I'm hoping I have it. So just like that, my pink sky is almost entirely gone. And why did I paint it? Okay, we've been down that path before. Because you can actually still see it. That's part of the reason why. Okay, I am going to pause you guys. I got some messes to clean up here, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks for watching.